goes for the immunity. Can't beat them, that shit ain't gon' ruin it. I'm the only one now let out through me.
I'm Jace.
I'm Scotty.
And I'm your host, Dawson. And you're watching
On the Clock.
Or no, yeah, he had 3 touchdowns.
Well, they're, I think, 6 of these. Yeah. And so if you're bottom,
Yeah, Wichita State, we won the past game.
Hello everybody and welcome to On the Clock. Jace will join us shortly. He's currently in the bathroom crying because he's rewatching KU versus Arkansas. But today we're here with a March Madness special. We will exclusively be talking about March Madness. So we're currently in the Sweet 16. Scotty, who do we got out of the South?
Out of the South we have Bama, the 1 seed overall in the tournament, South Dakota State, Creighton, and then
Surprise.
The book studiers, Princeton.
Yeah.
The library.
Live look of them after they beat Missouri. That was crazy. I wish I could have been there. It seemed the vibes ecstatic. Okay, Jace, who we got out of the East?
We got FAU, Tennessee, K-State, and Michigan State.
All right, Midwest, we got Houston, Miami, Xavier, and Texas. And then out of the West, who we got, Jace?
We have some bald-headed kid, UConn, Gonzaga, and UCLA.
Yeah, we have Arkansas, not regular Kansas, Arkansas.
Yeah. Where'd they go?
Yeah, how did that game go down?
Well, you guys can start talking when y'all win some national banners, bro.
At least we're still playing.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to get into our Elite Eight predictions here. Out of the South, I have Bama versus Creighton. I just don't think Princeton has it in them to beat this Creighton team, who's very good in their Ken Palm ratings, which is normally a big factor in narrowing down teams here in March Madness. Then I got Tennessee versus K-State, Houston versus Texas, and UConn versus UCLA. Scotty, you want to go ahead?
Yeah. I got Bama, and then I got the Princeton library kids. Moving on. Bama versus Princeton, Tennessee versus K-State, Miami versus Texas, and Arkansas versus Gonzaga.
So you're picking, that's 2 upsets. You have a 6 and a 3, right? Let me look here.
Miami, I think, was the upset.
Okay, yeah. But you got 2 upsets there. And then, Jace?
I got Bama over San Diego State. I got Creighton over, is it Princeton? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I got Tennessee over, is it FAU?
Yeah, you're right.
Yep. Then I got Michigan State over K-State, Miami over, I believe it's Houston, Texas over Xavier, UConn.
Over Arkansas?
Yep, and then Gonzaga over UCLA.
Yeah, so I don't know if that Gonzaga team's got it in them to reach the Elite Eight. I just feel like UCLA is a more well-rounded team. So you guys want to talk about the K-State game here for a minute, and then we'll get into KU?
Sure.
All right, so K-State played Blue Blood Kentucky, Sunday afternoon. It was a great game back and forth the whole time. Marquise Noel proved why he is him in heart over height. He had pretty much the game of his life. We didn't make a 3 until 15 minutes left in the second half. We started 0 for 14 from deep, and we're still able to pull that out. So it was a good team win. I think if we hit 2 or 3 more threes there in the first half, it wouldn't have even been a contest. But the Kentucky coach had the audacity to call Marquise Noel Little Man. He wouldn't even say his name because, he just dominated them so undisputably, amazingly. So, KU, Arkansas. Jason, break that down for us.
It was a good game by both teams, I'd say.
Arkansas.
Okay.
Ricky counts the 4th.
Yeah, Ricky counts.
C4 kind of had a really good game. Never heard of the kid before. He played at WSU, kind of bum water.
You made that kid. He right down the street.
And so...
we were talking about him before anybody else was. Yeah. Before the cameras were even on. You want to continue?
So Ricky counts. He's a pretty good player. Don't see him getting any lottery picks like Jalen Wilson or Grady Dick, but he's a pretty.
Sorry.
Well, we'll see how KU does next year. Shockers on the rise.
I did see a picture of Jaren Wilt's leg. He had a dog in it. Same with Gerda Dick's hand.
Shockers getting ready to hire a new coach. You know, organizations getting turned around. We'll see them in the tournament next year.
Oh, I would love to see you guys in the
No,
tournament.
Houston next year. It's us and Memphis pretty much.
Yeah, I think you guys have a legit shot at making the tournament. You guys look at K-State. A year ago yesterday, they hired Jerome Tang. We had 2 guys on the roster. Look at us now, playing in the Sweet 16.
We got a few guys in the portal already, but
Hey, it's okay.
it's a
Like, yeah, FDU's head coach. It's like some Tobin or something.
Oh, Tobin, whatever.
Anderson.
Yeah, it might not be the worst hire. All right, speaking of FDU, we're going to go into upsets. First round, FDU, major upset over Purdue. What were your guys' thoughts on that game?
Zach Edey's not player of the year. No, it's Jalen Wilson.
No, not Jalen Wilson either.
It's obviously Marquise Noel.
Bro, you can't start saying he's a player of the year at 5'8".
He's not even 5'8", I don't think. All right, little story about Marquise Noel. So after the Kentucky game, something was wrong with his chest. He got real tight, and they were like, man, we got to get him to the hospital. So they got him to the hospital, right? And they took him up. They did an X-ray, and it was of his chest. You know what they saw? They saw that dog in him. They saw that dog in him. No chihuahua. All right, so FDU versus Purdue. He's not player of the year. I mean, he's really good.
Second 16 seed to ever win. Doesn't leave Virginia all alone.
Yeah, FDU joins the 16-team club. They looked like they had a legitimate. They were so close to moving on here to the Sweet 16. That would have been really cool. And then we have Pitt beat Iowa State.
An old shocker on there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, their point guard, Burton, Jamarius.
Oh, okay. Okay. Was he off the bench at WSU, or did he start?
He was like a 2-guard at Wichita.
Okay. Okay.
Why have I never heard of him?
And then Furman upset Virginia again. Virginia can't seem to perform here in March.
After that loss, I mean, they're probably feeling a little bit down, but knowing that they're not the only 16, the only team that I get outside, I think that might have enlightened the mood as on their way back to wherever Virginia, like whatever part of Virginia.
And then let's move on. Princeton.
Holy cow.
Dogs.
Yeah.
Dogs.
Beat Arizona.
They're like a 18 seed.
All right, we're going to run this back. Another live look after they beat Arizona. Oh, Mizzou. Here you go right now. Again, just crazy. Phenomenal.
The ball work. The focus.
I know.
It's just crazy.
They have to have like some calculators in their head, right?
It's
they have to
crazy.
calculate.
I wish I was there. All right. Okay, and then Princeton obviously beat Missouri here in the second round. And then Michigan State upset Marquette. I mean, good thing for K-State. I would rather play Michigan State than I would Marquette.
Marquette lost 8 of their last 9 tournament games.
But you don't want to be upset, right? You don't want to get upset?
No, we ain't getting upset.
No, they don't lose to teams like Arkansas.
And you know what? As a matter of fact, I'm not upset right now that you made that comment because I've matured.
Was Michigan State ever a 1 seed?
Sparty? Shoot. I think they were. No, that was Michigan.
They started off pretty high.
Yeah, Arkansas. Till their only player tore his ACL.
Next game on the list.
Arkansas versus KU. We've talked about that a little bit. It was a rough one for Grady Dick and the boys, but, you know.
It happens.
Yeah, they'll rebound. I'm sure it's Kansas. They'll rebound next year. Maybe. All right, so let's look over at our brackets here. My bracket did all right. You know, it's obviously still perfect. The one I did on paper, I didn't submit it, but you know, I felt like it was a pretty good bracket. Major games that I predicted wrong. I had Memphis in the Elite Eight, I believe. I had them upsetting Purdue, and they obviously got upset in the first round. Other ones I got wrong, just looking here. I did have Arizona State over TCU, and then I also had Furman over Virginia, which, and then I think I had Boise State over Northwestern, which, I mean, it's just one game, but any other notable ones on your bracket?
KU all the way.
KU all the way.
I also had Duke in the Final Four.
Oh, that's an interesting one. They looked good there at the end of the season, but just couldn't pull it out against Tennessee.
I had a lot of faith in Texas A&M to make a little run.
Little mini run, may hit Sweet 16, I'm guessing.
Maybe because I was a big on my Wichita State guys this year.
Yeah.
Dexter Dennis.
Oh, was he there?
He was there at Texas A&M.
Good for him winning a little bit. Okay, we will be back on Friday with a show. We're going to talk a little bit more about our Final Four predictions, and then we're going to get into all of the NFL offseason drama, which is unfolding right before us. Hopefully there'll be some more developments by then. But thank you always as watching, and we will see you on Friday.